Hey, everybody, welcome back to Black Lotus Live, where we talk about all things strange and unusual. And speaking of strange and unusual, tonight we have Rich from GUFON on with us. And if you've never seen GUFON, if you've never watched GUFON here at YouTube, do yourself a favor. This guy, he's been called the hardest working man in ufology. And I don't doubt that even for a little bit. Because, I mean, he does his show 6 days a week. And when he's not doing that show, then he's doing other people's shows. And when he's not doing that, he works with Third Phase of Moon, just like Michael Roser does. And if you have problems with Third Phase of Moon, I think you're going to have problems with me because they are just a great team, you know. But anyway, before we get into this tonight, well, first of all, hi, Rich. How are you?
I'm okay. I don't know if I like that intro. You said, speaking of strange, here's Rich. I'm like, hey, man. I know what you mean, though. That's funny.
Strange is beautiful.
Strange is beautiful. And speaking your mind is a beautiful thing, too, without having to be beaten up for it and be called a bully. So,
right?
I guess we'll be talking about all that, too, right? So I appreciate being here.
Hey, Michael, you made it.
I did. I was able to get the night off, and sure enough, here I am, guys. What's going on?
There.
Hey, you know what? Just because you can see through the blinds doesn't mean everybody else can, Rich.
Got that right, brother. That's right.
Before we get the show started, I just want to mention something. We just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Wow. Hey!
Congratulations.
Not a big deal to other shows out there, but it's kind of a big deal to us. And it's all due to the fact that we have gone to a panel discussion thing, I think, because back when Ralph and I were the only ones doing this, we just didn't have the turnout at all, you know. And now it's just, I mean, ever since we started doing that, it's the subscriptions and the the views have just gone through the roof. And so I just want to say I appreciate all of our subscribers, and I appreciate the Black Lotus panel for being here. So, you know, Rich, one of the things I like about you is that you don't hold back.
Yes,
you know?
I do.
Well,
I'm still holding.
I saw you on Truth Seekers the other night, and you were certainly holding back. I could see blood running from your mouth as you were biting your tongue. You know?
I didn't.
But yeah, I mean, you're not a typical debunker. You're just a healthy skeptic, you know. And I have to say that I've watched so many videos and seen so many photographs of UFOs, and 90% of it, if not more, can easily be explained away, you know. Now there's the other 10% or so that, you know, I mean, you can't really explain that easy. But I like that you do that. You're a lot like me in that sense, you know. But
you know, it's weird. You know, I didn't start out wanting to be this person, but when you see how things go behind the scenes, and you hear conversations, and you read emails, and oh my God, and everybody's stabbing everybody in the back, this is a great place. Gotta stay here. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it and let people know, you know, the people you look up to, it's not all what you think.
Yeah, no doubt. And especially,
it's worse than that. Yeah.
You know, these high profile people in ufology. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about these high profile people and who can we actually believe anymore? I mean, ufology didn't used to be like this. I don't remember it ever being so divided, you know.
Yeah, it's always been. Yeah, you know, you're just seeing a lot more of it because of social media than you have. It's now come to be the norm, and we've been in social media now for a very long time, a decade, I think, or more, you know, with Twitter and YouTube and the others. But really, the last 5 years, it has accelerated twice as much as it did in the last 15. So it has really gotten crazy with people who think they know what they're talking about, people who know what they're talking about, and people learning what they need to talk about. It's a field filled with every different color of every shape, size, and age. I mean, it's an amazing place, but then you've got people who think a lot differently than you do. So then you got what we have today, and it's more politicized than I think it's ever been. You know, UFO Twitter is completely left, you know, and nothing against it. I'm just saying that's what it is. And, you know, everything else is fighting to prove them wrong. So
well, it's like anything else.
Weird.
Everything is politicized these days.
Yeah,
everything. You could call the sky blue, and they'd say, "Well, that's because you're a Democrat."
Yeah, right.
You know? It's just ridiculous. But, you know, on top of the political climate, you know, you've also got people who are just out and out, who I believe are frauds.
Oh, yeah.
And like, for instance, Anjali.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 right? You know, I mean, Jesus.
You knew her name's got to come up, right?
Be careful. I have a crush on her now. Yeah, no. I don't. All right, maybe I do. No,
But-
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, but no, I watched you on Alien Girl 111, and I saw you on her with on Truth Seekers, and then who else did I see you on with?
Alien Addict.
Or Alien and Addict, that was a one. And the thing that surprises me about her is that she knows she's going to be highly criticized, and I don't know why she continues to go on these shows if
She
she's going to feel
welcomes it.
attacked.
She loves it. Do
You
you
think
know
so?
how much attention she's getting?
It's
See, I think
enticing.
that- yeah.
Yeah.
She may find husband number 4. You know, so best of luck. You know, with 98% males watching her now, and she's put on a nice little show. She doesn't care about makeup, hair, or nails. She comes out in the raw, speaks very raw-like, because she believes she had this experience, and you can't prove her otherwise. And she wanted to bring that evidence back to us, which we hear that a lot. You know, Billy Meyer and everybody else. So when it didn't happen, a lot of people, including myself, made that prediction immediately after she had that fake newscast or media thing, whatever it was. And yeah, it was weird because she says, we're going to get researchers, come back in December and show you, or go in December and show you what we got when we come back. And it never happened. And that's the thing. She didn't say she had evidence. She said she knows of it. It's a big difference. That she knows it's there because I've been there in her mind. But when in her mind, right? Like people who have taken ayahuasca, DMT, I don't know, whatever other hallucinogen, they come back, and I haven't heard any women do this, but only males. And I don't know why it's that way. But like Joe Rogan and a bunch of his friends did it, and they saw a woman they didn't, you know, it was a feeling that she was the creator of whatever it is, like God, you know, and it was a woman entity feeling, you know, they all imagined it pretty much the same, you know, and they feel that experience was real. And that's what I think happened to her. They think their mind was open to another dimension, maybe of reality, maybe to see what's backstage. And she believes she had that. Hey, it could just be another dimension of nothing, and they're looking for the real answer, the aliens and stuff. I mean, it can go on forever.
But
hey,
that's
that's
the
a
thing.
good one. I should do that.
But that's the thing, though. When you go into something like this and you're looking outward, outside of yourself, and she sees something in the cave, I mean, what purpose does the physicality have? What right does the physicality have to actually exist? I mean, it could be another dimension. It could be a dream state she's accessing. If she's going through meditation, there are so many different ways to look at this, and yet she's very convicted that she's had this experience in this exact location. Now, the thing, my opinion, is this is a classic move, and I mean, I don't need to tell you how classic it is, wherein you're going to promise something, and you go out and make a public statement about it. You've already got some eyes on you as it goes, and then you make something so lofty in way of an achievement that you'd like to do, such as go to this cave, without any real backing or real intention, perhaps, to actually do it. It's just to build your name and get that attention. As we've all seen, negative attention is just as good as positive attention when it comes to the media world.
It takes
Yeah, attention is attention. Geraldo move.
A Geraldo move. That's
There you go.
You hit it right on the
There you
head,
go.
I think.
Exactly.
You know?
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah,
No problem.
So she really, it's fun. In the end, we all had fun. We all talked about the possibilities, and that's what they're talking about now. Oh, I don't care if she had an experience or proved anything. Nobody will. It's just that we're talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, we've been talking about it for 75 years.
Right. Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
we get it, and we keep hearing her repeating things over and over. So this saga has to end this week. I can't handle it.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And
getting
what's
us
up with
nowhere.
this whole Wayne thing? That there are two separate Waynes that own the property or something or other?
Nope. There's one Wayne. She says there's Ryan. Ryan is from Orion Adventures, who's a filmmaker, UFO investigator, whatever. He's researching things, and now so let me just say, he says he had pictures, drone footage, and a 1-hour interview with Wayne. And we've been asking for that evidence. Show us. And he hasn't shown it. He says, I will on December 15th around that time. Why? Because I have a deal with Amazon, because I can't show it. So what pictures? Then he shows us pictures. And I said, are those your photographs? He's like, no, these are from Google Earth. I'm like, well, so you don't have any of your pictures, right? No. So you haven't proved anything yet. Okay, good. And then he had texts between him and Wayne. Now, the whole time, Anjali is saying, that's not him. That's not him. I can make a fake text message just like he did, which I think he did. If you open up all your phones and open up from the phone messenger, not Facebook, but the one you get, does it show the phone number underneath the name you gave that person? And I think all phones show the phone number. And he showed what was a spoof app, I think, of a conversation. And she made a duplicate conversation and proved that she can do it in 2 minutes, what he did. So now she's saying, you have the wrong Wayne. He says, no, it's the same Wayne. So that's how people think there's two different Waynes. There's actually three, the one that came on my show, but we won't talk about that guy. So it's interesting, you want to say she's, slinging questions and dancing around the questions and all that, whatever. She's got logical answers. And I totally see it. Look, I want to look for the mistakes she's making. But so far, it's just an experience in her head, in her mind. She was going to go bring the proof back to us, but it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Well, personally, I believe that she believes she had this experience.
Yeah,
now, whether or not it's
exactly,
real, I don't know.
Right. Well, it's in her head. It's real.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't experience your today, but to you, it was real. For me, I could say you made everything up.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Everybody wants proof, hard proof of alien contact. But
she promised.
it would be nice for that, but we don't have it.
Well, that's the problem. She promised it. That was her big mistake. Yeah.
That was her big mistake, exactly. Mm-hmm. But she's just the latest in this long line of people who are, like I said, high-profile people that are making claims and all this. I mean, I used to have a lot of respect for Linda Moulton Howe. And that has changed drastically over the past year.
Really?
There was a point where I really wanted to have her on the show, but if I had her on the show now, I mean, my God, I don't know that I would mind my manners.
See, I feel she's always been the way she is. It's just a lot of people didn't catch it because there wasn't social media when she came out.
Yeah,
she came out. Prop circles, cattle mutilations were popular, late '80s, early '90s.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what is the name? What is the name of her cattle mutilation documentary?
I don't remember.
I think it's something Harvest. Something Harvest.
Oh,
it's
Alien
a real
Harvest. Is that?
It might be Alien Harvest. It's a real banger. It's a good movie. I gotta say, it's creepy. The music's good, and it's got that '70s, '80s vibe. I honestly don't know when it's made, but I did like that documentary she did, and I've seen her speak recently in some podcasts, and even for me, some of the things she's saying sound far out. So I don't know what to think about her.
But you can't disprove her either. On some things, you just can't.
Sure.
So she still has that allureness of somebody with legitimate investigation skills.
Wasn't
she a reporter? She's a investigative journalist, one of the
Okay.
few in our field.
That's not surprising to me. She seems very well spoken and good at her job. Which
See,
is,
the rumor is that she is an ex-CIA agent that
Whoa.
was placed in the field to infiltrate and get along with and share all the information with, three-letter groups.
You're
That's
for
a
real.
rumor that's been
crazy.
going around. Well,
That's
she
crazy.
kind of looks the part. And who
If
else
that's
wears
true-
that beret?
If that's true, I respect her so much more now. I automatically respect her. That's badass. I did not know that about her.
Yeah. It's wild stuff, man. People like you wouldn't expect to say that. They're like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely a CIA agent." I'm like, "Come on, she could just be a smart woman. Come on,
Right.
what? You can't have a smart lady? These guys."
Well, there's certainly something in here within their stories. Maybe, as you guys have mentioned, Anjali believes that she had that experience, and Richie did a good job illustrating what that is sort of entails in way of what you had. Wow, let's try that again. You did a good job explaining that. Long story short here is that, when you take someone like Linda Moulton Howe and you look at the library of information that she's put out in many different forms, you have to say, yes, of course she believes what she's doing, and she's one that will very quickly jump to the explanation of reptilians or something along these lines, shape-shifting, whatever the case may be, before we get to the logic. But there is something there. It's about how we connect those things together. Perhaps, again, looking at the consistencies throughout the board, throughout people who are doing this research, and then coming to some sort of intellectual conclusion as to what might be the most possible answer. But in the end, it's also up to the people who are researching and presenting this information to connect the dots the best way they can, instead of leaving a lot of these threads just kind of waving in the wind, saying these are all possibilities, but there's no grounding to them at all.
It sounds like what you're saying is people need to do their own research. They need to actually put in some work when they're evaluating some of these personalities. If they
I
want
think
to
that
know
goes
whether
without
it's
saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. I
Mhm.
couldn't agree more. Yeah.
I've been saying that for a long time, and nobody seems to come up.
What I was about to say, it seems to me that with all these high profile people that have come out in the UFO community over the past several years, it seems to me that the people that are doing the most work and revealing the most information are the boots on the ground people, like Rich, like Michael. They're the people who are going out there and investigating, or they're researching this stuff, and they're bringing the information to the people more, maybe not more than people like Linda Moulton Howe and that sort of thing, but it's more believable than what they're putting out there.
You're grabbing that real world experience. You're going out and speaking to the people. I mean, Third Phase of Moon right now does it the best, in my opinion. We certainly do the same activity, but those guys have had a focus on that particular style of delivery for a very long time. And yeah, it is really effective. It's something more tangible in way of actual experience and perhaps interacting with the public than we have with some of these behind closed doors researchers. Now, they may be capturing something very curious, but at the same time, as we say, it's all about how you present this information and how much effort you put into the dissemination of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You were mentioning, Rich, that it's speculated that Linda is a CIA agent.
That's all I know.
Yeah, but they say the same thing about Lou Elizondo. They speculate whether or not he's a government spook.
They don't even care about hiding that. They just let him come out forward and just say.
That's the craziest thing about him. Yeah, the thing is, I want to trust him, but I'm like, dude, your job was to be like deceitful. You were a spy for so many years. How do I know you're not being a spy right now?
Yeah, that's
so hard.
Exactly. That's just like that other guy too. I forget what his name is. Me and Damien had talked about him once before.
Doty.
But when you work, yeah, that's the one.
Doty.
Once they work for the government, I mean, that was his job, to be a liar. No.
Mm-hmm.
You got, I mean, and it goes for any of them as far as I'm concerned.
You know why they're all lying and work for the government? Because we still haven't had one shred of evidence from them.
Right.
Those 3 videos, yeah, the
That says
Pentagon
differently.
approved them, but they're not what they're telling us. I mean, they're fuzzy, FLIR, footage from the same people who lied to us all those years. Yeah.
if there
Show
was
us
going to
something,
be
yeah.
disclosure, if there was going to be disclosure, it would have come out right away instead of saying, "Well, we'll give you a date." Why put it off? Show what you have now and be done with it.
Maybe they don't have anything at all.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
But
They
yeah.
had time to, not only that, but they had time to whitewash and clear out anything that they had to begin with.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I think the most likely scenario is that, as far as what they have, they've already showed us everything they have. They have maybe a little bit more stuff, a little bit above what they have, but that's probably it. I have to agree with everybody.
It's all in the hands of privatized organizations. Anything that you'd really like to see and that you could, perhaps really put something together in way of observation, it's in these corporations. It's not within the government. And if it's
Right.
used in military, it's outsourced in some way, shape, or form. There's contracts that go through.
Well, right, like with Skunk Works,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
so
Skunk
I
Works.
personally, I think that I heard somebody say once that there are more things in the Nevada skies that people don't know about, and it's years and years ahead of our time, apparently. And my wife Terry and Ralph and I have seen a lot of things in the Nevada skies
Strange things.
that we just can't explain. I mean, we know what a helicopter looks like. We know what an airplane. We live between Las Vegas Airport and McCarran Airport, so we got flight paths going past us all the time, and we know what airplanes look like. We know what drones look like, but the things we've seen are none of the above. And we can't explain them. We just don't know. So they're, in the classic sense, they are UFOs.
Sure.
They're unidentified. And so, yeah, I mean, but like I said, the majority of stuff you see out there is all crap, but I think that they're like Michael was saying, that in the privatized community, there are things being worked on that may seem alien to us, although they're probably man-made,
Almost certainly.
And why do
But,
we always have to say they're years more advanced than what they're telling us? That means nothing to me. Because what do I get out of a weapon or an airplane that they made?
Right.
What, lasers? Okay, lasers are for barcodes, and it's a marker for something. And music. I mean, that's really what lasers do, right? They do a lot more. I understand that, but nothing that I'm using for myself. And what
Right.
else? What, Kevlar? When do I ever use Kevlar? Cooking?
I think that's a great point. That's a great point, and I think it opens up the bigger idea, which you're probably alluding to, is that they kind of trick. They barely share any information with us now. Like, I haven't seen any major technologies, and
No,
I'm sure
they never have.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just get ahead.
No. It's all right. I agree with you to some, but I'm personally of the opinion that all technology that we have today was once in the hands of the government. And once they decided that they couldn't weaponize it, then they go, okay, throw it to the peasants. They'll have fun with it, like smartphones, for instance, for example, But we were talking about people that we can't trust. And one of the guys and this really bothers me because, again, like Linda Moulton Howe, I had a lot of faith in this guy.
I think I know who you're going to say. I'm guessing. I have a name.
Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yes, I got it.
I mean, and the reason I had a lot of faith in this guy is because of that movie that he put out.
Great movie.
What was it called? Unacknowledged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Netflix. It was.
That was a good documentary.
It was good, and I mean, and I had a lot of respect for him because he headed up the Disclosure Project.
He did, yeah.
But that was all swept under the rug after 9/11 happened.
Right.
Because
Tragic.
he was supposed to go to Congress about it, and then 9/11 happened, and it was just like swept right under the rug.
Right.
And so I had a lot of respect for him until he started in with this CE5 crap. And not that I have anything against CE5. What I have against him is the amount of money that he's bilking out of people to go on these camping trips, basically, to do the CE5 with. I mean, it's just, it pisses me off. It really does.
Anjali 101.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But he's, well, he's not robbing anybody. He's putting something out there for people to believe in. He believes in it like Anjali does. And look, I don't think he believes. I think he knows he's a little bit of a, like really scamming people. I don't know why. But then I see him crying and very emotional in the movie. And I'm like, I know he feels it. He's a very emotional person. And you'll see that in the next Third Phase of Moon movie that's coming out, Above Top Secret with Greer. It's unbelievable. It's coming out in
With
February.
Greer?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you never
right.
seen him like this, man.
Really?
This is told nothing about CE5. Wow. Could me and Michael get to see that? When it's
When
being
is that
made?
coming out?
February next year,
In
probably.
February. Okay.
Yeah, Amazon, everything. We'll let you guys
I'll
know.
look forward to that, definitely.
Yeah, and watching him that way, you guys will see when the movie comes out. You'll have a totally different view about Greer after you watch this movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's touching. He just shows that how much work was put into what he did, and I don't want to divulge the shocking things that he says, but his time's running out. He's not going to be around forever, and who's going to continue the Disclosure Project thing? And when you hear what he says, I can't blow it, but I don't know, Michael, if he's even said this anywhere else, because I'm not sure what he said on that in the movie was out anywhere else. Is what I meant to say.
I think this is all original thought, and certainly the angle in which it's approached is original. It's unique. Yeah, you're really going to see a side of Dr. Stephen Greer and ufology at large that I don't think we've been exposed to, because for some of these people to take the time to open up and show you on a personal level what they've garnered for research, rather than just throwing things out there in journals and books and publishing things so far.
Careful. Don't
Did I-
give it all away.
No. I mean, I'm just giving you the overview here, saying that you get very personal with this individual, and again, it's reflective in the world of ufology, and it gives you a very interesting insight into Dr. Stephen Greer as, again, a person. So,
but that's all perfect, because dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Say good job, Michael. Yeah.
Good.
That's what it
Well
was.
said. Very well
Yeah.
said.
So, I forgot again. That's so
Capiche? One
funny.
capiche.
Yeah, I capiche twice, but I don't know. I don't understand. So the CE5 thing with Greer wasn't in the next movie, But yeah, you're right about the CE5. It's very bad. But they're adults, and people can spend their money any way they want. And I don't 100% approve. But what is so wrong with what he's actually doing? If he gets people to feel that they're enjoying, thoughts of aliens, having conversations with them, what's the harm? Because it's not real. It's not.
I think
really
I think the harm comes from where it's been speculated, it's been rumored that this lights that they're seeing in the sky are actually flares that are being dropped from like Cessna airplanes.
Yep,
And
that's a bad one.
bothers me. That bothers me a lot, because that's a mark of a scam artist.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to put a show on for the kids. That's what he was thinking.
Here's what I think about
sad.
This is what I think about Stephen Greer, is specifically that. So keep it short and sweet. Pretty much, I do respect him for the work he's done. He did he made awesome movies, just like Linda Moulton Howe. And I have heard claims that he is dishonest, like what you just said, but I have not seen any evidence to support that he has done anything dishonest or unethical. So for that reason, he's okay with me.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Not even dropping flares from planes.
I haven't seen any evidence. I know that claim is out there, but the evidence I have
Oh, the
not
video's
seen.
out there
Correct.
for sure.
Correct.
Oh, but we don't know if it's flares. We're just assuming it is, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if somebody does the investigation and they could show more, then my mind might change. But as of now, I don't think anybody's done that work. It's just a
But
claim.
if it walks like a duck, etc.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
So
right.
speaking of rumors, there are rumors flying around the interwebs that there's going to be something huge released before Thanksgiving. What do you guys think that is?
Nothing again?
Possibly.
When is it ever something? That's how you look at this. So that's how I'm looking at it. All right, I'll wait and see. Apparently, if true, it's pretty cool how the information is being transferred. So if this rumor is true, and I can't say it because, I don't know for sure, but I know what I heard. Michael, are we allowed to tell anybody?
I don't think we're allowed to go into
Yes,
detail.
we're allowed to
You know
tell.
what I mean?
I asked somebody, they said you could tell. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. So there's a... we can't.
No, but I mean, without dancing around it too much, because the source is very reputable and it's a very unique source in way of, where this information comes. And because there's some gravity behind that, it's not necessarily that we were told outright, this is exactly what it's going to be. But we're imparting the same thing to you, basically, is just keep your eye out, because we've been told to look towards that time, that we may see something. And if we do, then we do. If we don't, then we keep moving on like we always have.
And there's little pieces of evidence that I found out that it may be true, because Leslie Keene put a tweet up about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, saying that Lou and I have been silent because something big is coming up. Yeah, I like her too. She's one of the few that I like more than most people, I don't know what it is. Nothing bad about her came out, I guess, right? She's not looking in to make money, CE5 in people and making claims of visiting aliens. So anyway, she put this tweet up that her and Lou and Christopher Mellon were working on something, and very soon it will be announced what it is. So that's kind of interesting that at the same time Michael and I heard what we found out is going to be coming out. It seems like it is, and it may be paired with what Linda Keene, or what's her name, Leslie Keene, is saying.
Right.
If I could speak.
Wow.
I've got no problem with people making money off of research. For instance, Linda Moulton House, she's making money off of it. Lou Elizondo just announced that he's going to put out a book. And I've got no problem with people publishing their findings. What I've got a problem with is bullshit.
Yeah.
And so,
I also have a problem when... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I'll be quick. I just want to say my test for everybody is basically, are they dishonest or are they unethical? If they're not dishonest, and if I don't think they're dishonest, and if I think they're acting ethical, then I don't care. They seem normal. What's the problem?
Rich, what's your take on that?
Sorry.
Michael, go ahead. Now I forgot what the question was.
I was just going to say very quickly that I also have a problem when you find out that somebody like Lou Elizondo has been holding on to certain information that he should have disseminated to us just so he could put it in his book. That I have an issue with. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. So we don't really disagree on a lot here.
Well, there's nothing wrong with making money as long as you're doing it honestly and not trying to scam people out of their money.
Exactly.
Speaking of not disagreeing, I'm going to say a statement right now. This is what I think about Jeremy Corbell. I forget his middle name. First thing is I forget his middle name. Second thing about him is I like both his movies, Skinwalker Ranch and Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. Also, I don't think he's being dishonest, and I don't think he's done anything unethical, so therefore I like him. I think people just don't like his personality, and that's fucked up.
That's not it at all. That's
okay,
not it at all.
I knew we were going to disagree, so here we go. Let's do it.
Because Jeremy Corbell's a filmmaker. He knows how cameras work. He knows what bokeh is. Okay. He knew when he accepted those videos what it was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to say that there's a swarm of UFOs and we only get to see 3 that are not anything but an airplane, a commercial jet, and 2 stars, a little bit out of focus with infrared, or night vision, whatever. Yeah, he knows. So he's purposely doing this because there's an ulterior motive. He wants to get famous.
Yeah.
and make more money. When he makes more movies, people will think he's more credible. And yeah, he's a kind of an asshole. So yeah, he's everything you said, but just, twist it a little bit because he lies.
And he's learned well from George Knapp.
I was going to say, rides right on the coattails, yep.
That's why I disagree slightly with you, because he's purpose. How does he not know? He knows. Everybody. I looked at it in 2 seconds, go, come on.
Right.
How does he not know? And then he says with the radar footage, you can see there's a swarm. No, I see 3. There's no swarm. So I guess a swarm is more than one. Because a fleet is more than one, if you didn't know that. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's using that trickery language, I said it. But, if you look it up, if you look up numerous, it's more than one.
I'll give you this. That is a very compelling argument. I do think that's a compelling argument that he's being dishonest. Now, is there anything else that he's done unethically or dishonestly?
That's all you need.
That's I was going to say the same.
Yeah. I don't care if he gives money away to the poor. He's still a liar to me.
You fake one thing, your whole reputation and anything you've done prior to is tarnished.
Interesting.
Definitely.
Whether it was truthful or not, it doesn't matter. It's still under scrutiny now because people know one particular aspect. That's it. That's all it takes.
And he's a bad actor.
Well, speaking of him and George Knapp, what are your thoughts on Bob Lazar? Do you think he's legit?
Who's Bob Lazar?
Bobby!
I'm sorry, Rich is new to ufology, so
Yeah, give him a break. Give him a break.
Thanks, guys. So, Bob Lazar, Bobby Lazaro. He is a unknowing participant in a government experiment gone wrong, perpetrated by John Lear and his friends. That's my take on it. I think they set Bob Lazar up. They had connections within the government to see how the public would react. If a guy came out, said he worked at S4, we showed him alien pictures that we made up, and then he'll be released and fired and not killed, even though there were life-threatening situations where his Uzi was taken out and put on the seat of his car with his driver's license and his keys and the door's wide open. He comes out of the gym, he's like, death threat. And I'm like, no, door's open. So the guy has nothing to prove that he had a death threat, that his brakes were cut, that his identification was posted out there, and there were threats at the gym. And this is a guy who ran a brothel and was probably stealing technology around the neighborhood to make rocket engines and stuff. This guy should not have been working at S4. He has been an unknowing participant, and he thinks it's real, maybe. And I think all the people I meant, John Lear and his friends, whoever else is in it, I can't remember everybody right now because I'm trying to do this quickly. But that's why Bob Lazar isn't who he says he is. He thinks it, maybe, but they could have easily taken him out. He should have never gotten as far as he did. And when George Napster was brought in on it, he's thinking, I'm going to get famous. And he thought it was real. And then probably later on found out, come on, tell me, while they were drinking, fake? And yeah, it was fake. Damn it. We did good, though. So I think Bob Lazar, fake because he didn't know it, but real because he thought he knew it.
Wow.
Capiche?
Well said, dude. Well said. Capiche.
Come on! That's Bob Lazar. I think that's true. I think that's a real... Because if you think about it, he took John Lear and whoever else with him out Wednesday night to see the UFOs. Right. How did Bob Lazar know? Everything's compartmentalized. Then he's not going to go sneak out, know about these secret tests. If he would only need to know about the tests he needed to be at.
The hell?
Oh, that's right, because somebody snuck the information or he overheard something. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Maybe they let Bob hear it, let him think he heard it. You see? They talk loud while they know he's coming down the hallway. He's coming. Wednesday we'll be doing the test of the UFO. And then he's walking by and he's like, what?
But didn't he claim that he actually worked with these UFOs? with the sports
Yes.
models and all
Right.
that.
That's the sports model, yes. Yes, he worked with the sports model. It just had a corona ejection and lifted straight up. It was rather uneventful. Yeah,
But
that's what he
and
says.
what I'm saying is that's more than just showing him some pictures.
Yeah. But that's Bob maybe seeing something he thought could have been a drone.
Oh,
Could have been a nice big drone with 4 big propellers, but nah, that's not what it was. Because he said there was a corona ejection that came out of it when it took off, which is interesting. Discharge, that's right, corona discharge.
Discharge, yeah. That's very
I
curious.
don't remember who said something in the chat room about killing UFO Twitter. And, you were mentioning how Twitter is so left on the whole ufology thing.
You just
and
said
then-
it too.
What's that?
No, I said you just said it too. Yes, it
Well,
is.
and one of the examples of that is Demi Lovato,
Oh, right.
who I got to be honest with you, I never heard of this woman until she started that UFO
neither.
TV program. I mean, I never knew who she was. I looked her up and I listened to a couple of her songs, and she's all
just a
right.
singer.
But I mean, she's just another one jumping on the bandwagon. The UFO bandwagon. And I really wish that would stop. And what bugs me about her is that she is part of this UFO Twitter, this left wing kind of thing. And what really pointed this out to me was when she said that we shouldn't call them aliens. We should call them extraterrestrial beings because it offends them. And it's like, how woke do we have to be? Do we have to call them UAPs? I'm always going to call them UFOs.
No.
Right.
Do we have to call them extraterrestrials? No, they're aliens. If you come to the United States from another country, you're an alien. If you come from another planet, you're still an alien.
And they would understand that. They understand that's what we call them. They wouldn't be like, that's racist. I don't like what you
Right?
I really don't appreciate
That's what I
it.
said.
I come billions of miles and this
That's
is the
why I
things
said,
I
what-
did. But let's not keep saying this about UAPs. They're not trying to change the narrative of UFO to UAP. UAP is for government reports of
Absolutely.
UFOs. Has nothing to do.
Absolutely.
Civilian is UFOs, so we can happily say UFOs.
I like flying saucer. I like the classic.
Oh yeah, I do too. That's fun to say, actually.
But what if it's a
Flying
tic tac?
saucer.
Right.
Still a flying saucer. All of them
Right.
flying saucers.
Why do you think? Speaking of flying saucers, why do you think that it's the sightings of flying saucers have pretty much gone away? Now it's all about cubes in the sky and rectangles and cigar-shaped things, tic tacs. Did I say triangles? Yeah, I mean it's all about that. I don't remember the last time I saw a report of a flying saucer.
That's
Why do you
so
think it's changed over the years?
It's because it's
They-
the way we've progressed technologically. You know, everything's a little more cubish. You know, you look at cars; some of them are more like cubes. The electric ones, in a way, I guess, our phones look like that. Technology, iPads, you know, and other things, gadgets, they all have that shape. You know, we're always looking at a monitor. I wonder if it's subconscious. Maybe it's our consciousness. Anjali, are you in my mind? It's us looking at screens creating, because back in the old days, right, TVs were more round. Whoa, that's wild. Maybe that's what it is.
Hey, and put it this way, if we were using the circular shape on these crafts initially because there was some Newtonian physics involved still, okay, that would make sense. Maybe we've already transcended that to such a degree where we can put cubic crafts into the sky and it doesn't matter about air resistance or anything environmental. They've got something else at the helm. I mean, we talk about supercavitation. Perhaps that's still something that's applicable while it's in the air, not just going through different mediums.
Mm-hmm.
We recently had a guy on, I don't remember if he was on Black Lotus or on Paranormal News Network, our podcast. But he said the more geometric these things are, the more advanced they are.
That makes
Right.
sense.
Okay.
It doesn't.
I
make sense.
don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to me actually, but
Well, I think that's That's why we don't have saucers anymore. We have tic tacs and triangles and stuff. Is because it's more modern. It's just technology has advanced.
But he did say that. He said the way he categorized it was he said the ovals, the orbs, and the cigar shapes. Those are, he's saying, the most basic ones. So that's earlier technology, and the more advanced technology he's saying is the angular triangles. That's just what he said.
So the aliens are advancing as quickly as we are in their world, that they've changed the way their cars and flying saucers look to what they have now in like 40, 50 years?
Is the assumption that it's extraterrestrial, though? In that context?
Ooh, nice. I like your thinking. It could be all us. Or China.
Yeah, right. Of course.
It's China. China has the Tic Tacs.
Rich, I gotta say something. I realize about you is that you're the best person I have found that uses what's called Occam's razor. Occam's razor is a tool for somebody who doesn't know. Everybody should use it. It's basically just what is the most likely scenario. Yes. That's probably the truth. And I've never seen anybody use it. Like, you use it like a ninja, dude. It's awesome.
That'll be the next T-shirt.
Awesome.
Occam's razor like a ninja. That's so funny.
It makes me think about myself because I'm like, dude, I don't use it enough. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, well, I think it's a form of critical thinking that comes really with, and I think I was born into it, because my dad being a skeptical person, then a cop, so you put those two together, forget it. Yeah, then you got me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. So he was a retired policeman. All people in my family worked for the government, CIA, FBI, and stuff like that. So. Yeah. So I come from a very skeptical, people, they don't believe anything anybody says. Look, yeah, right. Then she didn't mean that. It's always something. So now,
but you need to be that way in ufology. You can't just fall for everything hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are some things out there that I can identify. Doesn't mean they're aliens. Doesn't mean they're not man-made. But I can't identify them. So you have to be skeptical, Otherwise, you're just another joker in the UFO community who falls for everything.
Yeah, but skeptical with an open mind. Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
Sure,
no, please
absolutely.
Go. Skeptical with an open mind? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's it? That
was it?
Okay. Yeah, another great answer, by the way. Fantastic, Michael.
Well said. Very well said.
Very well done, yeah. What were we talking about?
Well, hey, let's get back to Jeremy Corbell just for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm hearing rumors going around that he's going to be quitting ufology. Is he just crying over spilled milk, or what? What's the deal? Is that true?
Yeah, well, it's a rumor. It's a rumor that's going around. Don't know if it's true, but I've heard it now more than once. And of course, there's, you haven't seen Corbell since June 25th, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it July? When did they have the 180 days? June, right?
June.
So, June 25th was the last time we really saw him. He's not even doing any tweeting or nothing. Because he got razzed so bad for every single thing he showed us. Every video that came out was pretty much debunked. There's no questioning that he knew what he was doing and lying to everybody, and I don't think he can handle it. So maybe he's stressing out over the weight of the lying and the mockery of him, and he just can't handle it. I'm a really nice guy, really. Why are they doing this? Because you lied. You lied, and you lied.
Well, and that goes back to my question about Anjali. Why does she continually do these shows out there on YouTube when she knows she's going to get attacked by people who, have been in ufology for years and years and years, and they know bullshit when they see it? And so I'm surprised she hasn't quit this whole thing yet.
I would imagine if you're too far into the lie. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go right ahead, Rich.
I was just going to say what you said, so say it.
What did I say?
Why does she do it, say? Is that the question?
Yeah, well, again, you get too deep into the lie. It's sometimes easier to just keep going forward rather than backpedal, especially one of such a magnitude that where she's promised to go out and do this and so forth. But she's been caught so many times. At that point, sometimes people just abandon the thought that it even exists, just shut it out of their mind, continue with the narrative, because eventually, if they didn't believe certain aspects of their own story or their own lie, they begin to believe it to keep it real as they're talking about it. And it, doesn't become any more believable. But again, they start believing that that's the case. And in Anjali's case, we've seen her get very defensive very quickly over very trivial questions that should have an answer and be able to be discussed intellectually and without confrontation. So when people show that side of themselves professionally, that's when I start saying, okay, you aren't able to hold a conversation together, but you're going to come through with such a lofty promise as what she's mentioned to us, and we're going to look at you as somebody who's grounded and, obviously garnered the credibility that, you think you deserve. I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
And most people who are telling the truth wouldn't stay on for hours and hours and hours every night of the week talking and defending themselves, because somebody who's telling the truth doesn't have to defend crap.
Correct.
Look, if it was us, it'd be over in 5 minutes. Yeah, guys, say what you want. I don't care, really. But then I would have had to have said something like, I have proof, and I'm going to show it to you tomorrow, and I don't have proof. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the major issue here, is that she backed out of something that she gave everybody hope for. But really, did she? I mean, those of us who were skeptical to begin with knew it wasn't never going to happen. Really. But some people like Alien... Pardon?
I was just going to say, I have a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology. And the first time I saw her, I'm like, she's full of shit. She's lying through her teeth, through her body language, the fact that she's, I don't know, just doing all kinds of things that are tells,
Oh, I've seen it when I talk about that other stuff she was on. And you have to go back to you don't even have to go back to the earlier interviews, because she's an open book when she speaks. And when she's lying, she doesn't care if anybody can tell if her body language is one way or the other. Because then she'll say, well, I'm on medication, sometimes my brain misfires. And I'm like, you know what, I can understand that, but that's not what's happening. You mean your brain misfires everything you say?
Speaking of liars, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Travis Walton.
How dare you? Oh, there's some new stuff that stuff that has come out. All right, you go ahead.
I was going to ask you. There is. What is it?
Well,
I haven't heard anything.
I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that the guy Ryan Gordon of Orion Adventures, the filmmaker who supposedly brought this to us, that Mike Rogers, Travis's friend, said that they hoaxed it, right? Well, apparently Ryan took clips from other interviews and made the whole thing up. And people are proving that these are from other interviews, what Rogers was saying, and that interview never happened, and that he made it all up. And I think that's what he's doing with Anjali too, Ryan. Yeah, he has no proof, Michael. Yeah, no, he has no proof, man. And with Travis Walton, he did have pictures and all that stuff, but man, now I'm hearing that it's possible he, faked that. There's more coming, I don't know, but is that what you heard?
I've always believed Travis's story. I really have. And then, in light of what has come out recently, with Mike Rogers and all that, I kind of questioned it, but I still believe the guy. I really do. I mean, obviously he had a stake in this to make some money. They all did. So yeah, I can see how they could have hoaxed it, because the National Enquirer was, they put out a reward for anybody who could come up with a story about aliens. And so I can see them doing this. I mean, they're small town people, they're rural people. They probably didn't, I know they didn't make a hell of a lot of money doing what they did as lumber workers. But I don't know.
When they were kids growing up in the small city or town of Snowflake, Arizona, they used to run around the neighborhood saying, aliens are after us, the aliens abducted us. And everybody knew them as the alien abductee kids. Mike Rogers and Travis Walton. So they've been kind of honing in this way of talking about aliens and being abducted over the years, not knowing anything that National Enquirer was going to have a contest. Or maybe they did. I don't know. I think it was the very first one they ever did like this for UFO encounters. But now I don't think Ryan, because Ryan's investigating skills are very strange. From the Travis Walton to the Anjali. The Anjali seemed like he was confused and got caught in lies. But with the Travis Walton, he seemed very credible. He had photo evidence and audio, a call between him and Mike Rogers that, in my opinion, doesn't sound spliced. I think that was a real investigation. And he's there now. He's right there in Snowflake wanting to make the documentary. And he has to get, what do they call it, pass, like a pass to work to actually film on the light tower, a permit. He needs permits and things like that. So he's been waiting for that. It's a very interesting story, Travis Walton, but I don't think they were abducted. He came back, he was plump, he was full, he wasn't malnourished or anything, you know. He stayed in that tower that Mike Rogers told everybody he's not over there. It didn't happen over there. It happened over here, and everybody didn't check over there. That when they were searching for Travis over the 5 days. But it's weird. You think somebody would have said, screw it, I'm going to go that way anyway, but they didn't.
I wonder if I could I want to get one more in, Rich. Like, I really want to know what you think about the Pascagoula, Louisiana Pascagoula abduction.
Yes. Pascagoula. Was that with the two guys?
Yes, exactly. 70s, 1970s.
Yeah. Oh, what a story, right?
Yes.
It's incredible.
I think it really happened, man.
Wow. Me too.
Yeah, I do.
I agree.
And for a couple of things, and I'll just keep it short. This is the one where they were not arrested, but the officer took them into a holding area to talk to them. That's the one, right? And then he walked away, but he left a recorder running in the drawer.
And they kept talking about what happened to them, so they weren't talking about the hoax. They were talking about like they were scared. And,
Yeah, the younger guy, I can't remember his name, is like, I just don't feel good, man. I need to go home. And he's like, well, yeah, they didn't talk like we're doing it. We're faking them out. None of that was like, and they were just talking about feeling better. And Mike, what was his name? Mike, I think, something like that.
I wish I remember
the older guy. Was telling the younger guy, look, it'll be all right, man. We saw something we shouldn't have seen or something like that. And then when the cop listened to the recording, he's like, holy crap. That really happened.
I think that's what the most convincing part about this case.
Me too.
It was also some this is just interesting things about it. It was a daytime abduction. They weren't sleeping. They were fishing actually at a pier. They described multiple humanoids that looked very weird. Very weird. So it's like this is a wild case. Yeah, like football players with lobster hands and like a weird carrot head or something. Yeah. But he said here's a little story. He said he went into the ship and there was a woman alien. And the woman alien was examining him. And one thing she did was she got two of her fingers, which were longer, and she shoved them down his throat. And then telepathically, she was like, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. And then his reaction is like, what are you talking about? You're already hurting me. Like, this hurts a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I meant I'm not going to kill you. Yeah. Sorry, my English isn't so good.
Yeah, it's not my first
my
language.
human isn't so good.
What do you guys think about John Greenwald from Black Vault?
Oh,
Michael, you want to take that one first? I've been going first forever.
No, you're the guest.
John Greenwald's awesome. I'll say it. I like the guy.
Okay.
He tells it like it is. He gets, he gets down in there. He gets dirty. He gets his hands, right into the thick of things, and he proves it one way or the other. And if he can't disprove or prove something, he'll admit it. I like John. I know he was my very first live radio interview that I did, and I've always respected his work. He's been going at it for 25 years.
Wow. One of the most pragmatic and grounded researchers out there. And, I could even liken him in certain ways to people like Preston Dennett, who are actually compiling this, Michael Schratt, compiling all of this evidence,
great.
John Goodall, you name it. All these guys really have put the time and the sincerity into the work, and John is no exception to that.
Preston Dennett I highly respect that guy. Mm-hmm. And we had him on our podcast at one point. And after talking to him, I mean, I'll be honest, when I mean, I haven't been into ufology as long as you guys have, but I've been in it long enough, and I should have known his name, and I didn't. And so we have a agent who gets our guests for us, and she mentioned him, and I was like, oh, he seems kind of interesting. Okay. We got him on the show, and I was riveted by this guy. I was like, wow, man, you know your stuff, you know? So, yeah, I really like him, too.
Lovely man. Very lovely man.
Hey, I'd
speaking
like to ask you, oh, go ahead.
Speaking of people we have respect for, when I ask people, who do you trust in ufology? The first name that always pops up is Stanton Freeman. Mm-hmm. And I loved that guy, but he's gone now. So who now in the community, such as John Greenwald and Preston Dennett, who can we trust that are relatively big names? Anybody?
I think it's hard to trust anybody a lot of times because they're not telling the whole truth.
Yeah. Well, they're withholding information because they have a book coming out.
Right.
So,
Right. But then again, you do have people like Preston Dennett who, basically has made this his life's work and what he's doing. And I would say all the cases, but of course I haven't sat down and reviewed everything he's ever published. I would say that the majority of the time he is certainly just expressing what he's been told in way of anecdotal evidence or showing something that has been given to him, again, to corroborate a story. And he does it very flatly when he's speaking about these things. It doesn't seem to be enhanced with his opinion unless he mentions, in my opinion and so forth. Those type of people that are very grounded. And Preston Dennett would be one of the first for me. But again, a lot of these guys that we work with, even, folks like John D'Souza, people that are on the Third Phase of Moon panel, they're there for a reason. And honestly, there are people that I could say I would trust that they would give us the best evidence that they had and would not try to embellish it beyond its title. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, John, that we mentioned earlier, John G., I don't want to missay his name, but the guy that runs the Black Vault, I think he's like Stanton Friedman, basically.
He could, yeah, he could be like that. I mean, that was the person I said when people asked me, who do you trust? John Greenwald, because, he gets his hands dirty and doesn't mind having a hard conversations with people, and he holds himself very well. He speaks well. His research is great, and he's not out there to make a buck. I mean, even though he does, but that's because he's working hard, and people help out, and that he deserves. We don't hear anything like, oh, my goodness, he was seen at the... well, I don't know. Just imagine something bad. I don't know. I don't know what I can say. Well, you know what I mean. There's nothing bad about him. So
right.
I like that he doesn't have any of that.
I like his website. I love that he has such a data dump there.
Yeah.
My God. I mean, just it's mind blowing how much he has, how much information he has. So, and in my opinion, none of it is the bullshit that we've been seeing. Like you said, if he doesn't know something or if he doesn't agree with it, he's not afraid to say it. And I don't think that there's anything in that data that he has in his records that could be really called bullshit.
Well, most of the stuff he gets is FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act,
right.
So stuff. So it is what it is. But he does good job on that. 25 years. 3 million documents or something like that. It's crazy.
Lord.
Unreal.
Yeah. I was going to ask you guys, have you ever interviewed, I'm just curious to see how you guys would talk to her, Linda, the Phoenix Lights, Dr. Lynn Katai?
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
Not on this show.
Okay. It'd just be interesting.
Yeah, it would.
I don't know. I've got mixed thoughts about the Phoenix Lights.
That's why I'd like you to have her on, just so you can get her perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was a pretty fascinating case for me, one of the reasons is I respect these UFO sightings where there are multiple witnesses. We were going to have a guy on from Phoenix who witnessed this, and then he flaked out on it. So, yeah. So, but he was just one of thousands of people that saw these things. And the night that it had occurred, it started here in Las Vegas where we are. It started with this huge boomerang triangle thing going over Henderson toward Arizona.
Kingman.
And so it started there, and it was reported by a cop and his son. And then the next thing you know, you have this even bigger boomerang triangle, whatever you want to call it, that's over Phoenix. And all these people saw it. And so I thought, well, it sounds credible. But I have to admit, flares sound credible too.
No, you're confusing it. You're confusing it. Because flares were at 10 o'clock. The Phoenix event happened at 8:15. There's two different.
I see.
They dumped the flares as a distraction at 10 o'clock because so many people were calling in. And then they dumped it from the Davis Mountain Air Force. I don't know. I think it was something like that they dumped the last of. They weren't allowed to land with flares, so they dumped them wherever they were at, apparently. And it was just a whole distraction. So the lights you see on the TV and everything, that's not it. There is there's no video of the Phoenix Lights event.
Oh, there's not. Oh.
Nope. No known video. And,
why don't we see smoke from them, though? I mean, because
they're 30 miles away. And with the camcorders back in 97, they didn't have the technology or the clarity to see that close, that clear.
Right.
And I have them on video in 2004 because in March, they do, and April, over at the Barry Goldwater gunnery range, they do these drops of flares. They're 10,000 feet to 5,000 feet. They last 5 minutes. You can see the timestamp on my camera. Exactly 5 minutes, they start to peter out. So it looks exactly like the Phoenix Lights. And even though that was 2004, people have recorded the flares for years. It's nothing new.
I do want to say that there's a great director named James Fox.
Yep.
And in one of his movies, I'm not sure if it's Out of the Blue or I Know What I Saw.
It's I Know What I Saw, the Phoenix Lights.
And I Know What I Saw, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he shows the only video of the Phoenix Lights. It's only like 20 seconds long. It's 1997 technology.
It's
I remember
that was 2 months prior.
Okay.
That video, that was from 2 months before. People up in near Sedona recorded something, and they're trying to make the connection. Maybe this is what they saw on the night of Phoenix, but it didn't look anything like even what we saw at 10 o'clock. So, but it was an interesting sighting. It was a UFO. That was an interesting sighting, but that had nothing to do with the Phoenix Lights. That's just. It was just a video that somebody found, and then they're like, oh, wait, there's a guy who saw this. Could that be the Phoenix Lights?
Right.
That's like saying, hey, we're in Michigan and we saw these lights. Is that related? If it's not the same day, I don't care.
Interesting. Now, that is new information to me. That's very interesting. I do think that in the movie, it is, I'm not saying it's true, but I think it is claimed that video is during the night of the Phoenix Lights. But you're saying that.
What video? Oh, the one we're talking about? No,
the one in I Know What I Saw.
Yeah,
but I'm saying I think it was claimed. He claims it in the video, but whether that's true or not is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's not true at all. That's a bold-faced lie. And
that's good to know.
Yeah, maybe I should prove it. Yeah, grab it.
You should, because it's out there. It's
I'm going to go after my favorite movie maker of UFOs.
No, he'll be cool about it. He's a cool guy. I think
I like him a lot. I don't think I want to touch it.
He's doing a video on my favorite UFO abduction case, which is it's not an abduction case, but it's a close encounter of a third kind crash craft in Brazil, Varginha, Brazil. There were 2 aliens seen by little girls. And they look like little demons. They look like grays, but they're reptilian and ugly. And
from earlier this year?
No. This actually happened. I don't remember. I think it happened in the 90s. But yeah, it's a well-known case. It happened in Brazil, and he's doing a film. He was just in Brazil. He actually, I think, this place where it happened is kind of like a not-so-safe city. So there was a news article where when he was filming a documentary a few months ago, he got in some trouble with the gangs and stuff, and he had to like run away or something. Because he's there, he's in Brazil interviewing the people that saw.
Isn't there a clip of that somewhere that he had issues and you see him talking with the girls and the mother?
Yes, there is that. There is that video. There is a video just like that from a few years ago. Yeah. So it looks like he became interested a few years ago, I think, for the National Geographic. And you see him interviewing the woman. And now I guess he came back to the idea. Now he's doing a whole movie on it. Yeah, it's really cool. So,
Good. He does great work, man.
Let's talk about UFO Jesus.
oh yeah.
There's a guy that I used to like, actually, when he
Hey,
was
he
wearing a
visits-
robe.
He visited the chat room one time. The last 5 minutes, he was like, "Hey, what's up, party people?" or something like that. So
Here?
He was here?
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Yeah.
The thing is, I liked him at one time. Now that he's changed into a suit and tie, I can't grasp the guy anymore. I really can't. You know?
Are you joking or are you being serious?
No, I'm serious.
That's so
You
funny.
know?
You know why that happened, right? Did you ever?
No, why?
Do you know why he changed?
No.
Why?
Because
Why?
one guy he respects,
Okay.
who's been also on the Unidentified Celebrity Review,
Okay.
told UFO Jesus during an interview one day, and I don't know where it is, but I played it on my show, that you need to put on a shirt and tie, because nobody's going to take UFO Jesus seriously if you want to be taken seriously. The next day, he got rid of the kimono.
Oh, come on.
Oh man.
True story.
Yeah,
And the same
well,
thing.
it's not that I don't believe you. I just
Yeah.
it's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
Bring back the kimono. Bring it back.
Yeah, and of course he still uses UFO Jesus every now and then. It's UFO Jesus, but
Right.
I'm Ryan,
His name's Ryan, right? Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
post-disclosure world. Let me say it right now.
Right.
Hey, UFO
Yeah.
Jesus, what's up, dude? I think you're a cool guy, man. Have me on. I'll have you on. You have not been dishonest or unethical, and you're entertaining. I don't
Right,
care about your tie. It's
But he's
fine. Wear whatever you want.
Yeah,
It's not that I don't like the guy. It's just I don't like the change. And I think
Yeah,
it's kind of
that's fair.
ridiculous that he was told to put on a shirt and tie so that he could be taken more seriously.
That's a
I don't
fair
know. I took
criticism.
him seriously beforehand.
He said it. His words. He said he was, and he thought about it, and that's why he did it, because it made sense to him.
Yeah.
But he was growing very quickly with UFO Jesus, and people still call him that. But he's not going to show you that, and that's what happened with the Unidentified Celebrity Review.
Okay.
You know those guys with what's his name? Oh my God, Lewis, and I can't remember their names. But anyway, do you know the show?
I know.
I've heard of it.
Where's-
I don't think I've ever seen
Where
it.
is it on?
They were just regular. They're just regular guys. Like I'm dressed, you're dressed, and then one day they were wearing shirt and tie. All
Wow.
of them. And you can see they never wore these shirts before because they were either too big or too small. It's like they just ran out and got them. It's so funny, man. I was laughing. I'm like,
you
what
gotta
are you
get
doing?
it tailored. You gotta go to a tailor, and he'll do
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
superfluous move. It's absolutely superfluous, unnecessary, and it's way beyond more than what is needed. It's superfluous.
Well,
If you're-
I think
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that we grew up in an age where supposedly a shirt and tie did give you more of a
Respect.
respectful look and
Right.
stuff.
hmm
So,
It's the perceived image of authority.
right, exactly.
It is.
Which shows you they're bullshit. You start out wearing regular shirts, and now just because somebody told you you're going to be more respectful if you wear a shirt and tie, and we better do that. Now we're respectful. It
All
didn't
right,
help
all
at
right. You guys have convinced me. I don't have the tie, but I've got the shirt here. It's buttoned down. Hold on, let me see. I got a bunch of hair in the way here. It's probably dirty from the restaurant too, but hey, it's got buttons on it and a collar. How you doing? I'm the
Still not
professional
pro.
DarkHour. How are you?
Professional.
It's gonna be a whole new show from now on. Sorry, go ahead.
I suddenly trust you a lot more by 20% more,
Yeah.
What if I take the rest of my shirt off?
100%
So
more.
true. 20% more trust. God, that's funny.
Should we start dressing in suit and ties?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
You
black
would get that
fedoras and some
20%.
black Ray-Bans with maybe like the Men in Black.
I don't understand how I can go any higher. I'm already at 100. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, as long as your outfit is reminiscent of Chubby Checker attire, we're good to go.
Hey, this is Fats Domino.
Yeah.
I'm a poop shark.
Guys, we're gonna get out of here pretty quick, but I got one last person that you have to talk
Let's
about.
hear it. Let's hear it.
Steve Barone. Steve
Oh,
Barone,
no,
the guy
Steve
who's out here in
Barone.
Las Vegas, the
Oh.
UFOs over Las Vegas. And I mean, I'm going to go back to what I said before. I mean, there are a lot of things in the Nevada skies that I can't explain, but the majority of his videos easily explainable.
Yeah, well,
the majority of them. And when I say majority, I want to say 98, 99% of them are easily explainable. Like I mentioned, we know what airplanes look like. We know what helicopters look like, and we know what drones look like. Only 1% of what he films can be unexplained.
And even then,
but that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Perfect. Michael?
Yeah.
No, it's seriously. I mean, that guy's literally just.
I second it. Yep.
But it's the way he does it that I don't like. The way he showcases the stuff. What he does, he knows that, if you're a little bit out of focus and it's an airplane, it could look like a big orb. But what he'll do at first with everything you see, he speeds it up. So, because he knows that most people only watch 2-3 minutes on a video, and then they're out of there. That's the average YouTuber, spends 2 to 3 minutes, they're done. So the first 2 to 3 minutes is watching these things go fast, right? But then he'll show you later on, after he explains what's going on, then he puts it to the normal speed, and you see the flashing, and you see things you didn't see when he was speeding it up. But nobody's going to be 5 minutes in. He knows the majority of people drop out because he looks at his analytics and says, if I do this here, nobody's going to notice. It's a whole scam. It's perfect. I've noticed that with a lot of these videos that are short, or you don't see the ending. He cuts everything off too. It's like, we've got a light coming in from the northwest. I don't know how far it could be, but oh my goodness, they've been doing circles around for the last 4 hours. Yeah, well, maybe they're having training exercises. You ever think of that?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not as though
no FAA lights.
Right. I mean, it's right by Nellis Air Force Base where he's getting
them
these.
Around there. The whole state's a base.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I don't really like the guy. I really don't. Like I said, there's probably 1% of the things that he films that may be legit. I don't know, but
people love it. They love it.
Oh yeah, he's got tons of subscribers.
But that's where there's a problem in this field, is that this guy is deceiving everybody. Even if he's got 1%, 5% of good stuff, which I don't think he's got any percent of real UFOs. The fact is, how can all these people not notice it? And then I think, well, there's 350 million people in the United States. 47,000 subscribers. May or may not believe him, but probably 3,000 out of that. It's really a small number. So I don't know why I get so upset over a small amount of people who might believe him, but I feel it waters down the rest of ufology when you put this stuff up there. Because if they think that's credible, then more people will think it, and more people will think it, and then they'll start recording lights that look like airplane UFOs.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it never ends. And then they figure out a better way to do it than Barone.
And that just further discredits, the whole UFO community. And that really bugs the hell out of me too.
And what about him getting on a major network too, on cable?
Right.
Unbelievable. Right. He had a segment on that show. Ancient Aliens, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And same with Mr. MBB 333. He was on Ancient Aliens, I think.
Was he? I didn't see that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, man. No words. They should have sent a poet.
Speaking of subscribers, if you've never watched GUFON, and I see the majority of you in here are GUFOnites.
GUFOnians.
GUFOnians.
Come on, man. You're a GUFOnian too, man.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely. Good.
We all are.
But
yes, right.
But if you're watching this and you've never watched GUFON, I've got a link in the description. You definitely want to watch his channel. Not only is it very enlightening and informative, because Rich knows what he's talking about, but he's also very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
I don't watch that show without laughing at least 9 times during the show.
It's a 9-capiche show.
Yes.
That's a big capiche.
But yeah, definitely check that out. And also, speaking of subscribing, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel here at Black Lotus. And when you do, there's something going on with YouTube where it's something called shadow banning. And a lot of paranormal channels are suffering from that. And I know we certainly are. And what it is that the people who just subscribe don't get notified that the show's on, especially with these live shows. And so, because I've had a lot of subscribers tell me, hey, I didn't get that notification till today. And this would be like the day or two afterward, you know? So when you do hit subscribe, and this goes for GUFON as well as DarkHour Paranormal too, when you do subscribe, you got to hit that little bell, and you need to hit all. I think that would help. I don't know if it would solve the situation, but I think it'll help. But, anyway, if you like what we do here at Black Lotus, like I said, subscribe. And you can also help us out monetarily, because we are not monetized on YouTube yet, unfortunately. Soon.
Well, you can be.
We can be.
Yeah,
we just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
You know, that used to be 10,000.
Really?
Yeah, just 2.5 years ago.
Well, we hit the 1,000 mark, and now we're waiting on the view hours, and we still need about 2,000 more view hours.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So
let's go another 6 hours.
What I need to do is we need to start doing these shows on a daily basis like you do, Rich.
That's
I
right.
think that would work.
Yeah.
But,
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, definitely. And so what you can do in lieu of the super chat kind of thing is you can help us out by going to Buy Me a Coffee. We also have a Patron page where you can get some behind the scenes kind of stuff, extra stuff. And so definitely check that out, please. But anyway, I think we are going to get out of here. I want to thank Rich for being here from GUFON. It's been magnificent talking to you as always.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing us new subscribers, because some of them were saying in the chat that thank you. So I do appreciate you bringing some people along our way.
Terry, you still here?
Yeah, she and Kimberly have been popping in and out, you know. But our internet here is bad.
I'd like to say long live GUFON, long live Rich.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
Wow,
And Michael, I'm glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you. I wouldn't have missed it for the world unless my boss told me that I had to. So, that being said, just to let you guys know, I have 3 interviews coming up this week. Tomorrow night, I have Jared Murphy back to talk about a documentary that he's releasing on Tuesday about the original Stonehenge that we all know and love, the origins of that, and acoustic engineering in way of construction and architecture. Yeah. It's very, very good. And the entire documentary features my music all the way through, so that'll be fun to check out. We'll be highlighting that tomorrow night. Then on Wednesday, I have Elisa Medhus returning from Channeling Eric, and that's going to be a very interesting show talking about scalar energy and scalar work, which essentially is working directly with the arc field to identify holes and pits that perhaps need to be filled in, and how to do this in way of healing, not only in yourself, but within your environment as well, because apparently these, what they call portals, are everywhere. They're very minor, but still take in a lot of energy, just like if you had a bucket, had a few holes in it, you're still losing water, although you're retaining the rest of it. And then Thursday, I have Long Island Bigfoot coming on as a reschedule, and of course we'll be getting into, I want to talk to him a lot about what he's been capturing lately. I'm still very divided when it comes to specific research involving pareidolia. I won't say that everything that he shows me bears that particular mark, but at the same time, it's really what I'm always jumping to first, and I have my reasons for it, so we'll be getting into that on Thursday.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Yeah, just stay tuned.
And that's Michael.
When we first started doing this, I noticed how much Michael was working all the time. And I'm like, do you ever slow down? And he says, God, I hope not.
That's right, my friend. Never.
Can't.
We do this once a week, and that's enough for me.
That's true. It seems like you're on more, though. I don't know why. I think you're on 3 nights a week.
No. We used to do 3 shows a week back when we first started Black Lotus. But ever since we started doing the panel discussions, just once a week.
How come you don't do more, if you don't mind me asking?
Getting everybody
time permitting, it's exhausting for me, Okay. Chasing down guests is really tough for me, I mean, the typical guest, unless it's an author who's wanting to pimp out his book or something like that. You get these other guests on that are just very unreliable. And I mean, you're just constantly chasing them down. And so like I said, it's kind of exhausting for me. And the other thing too, is I can't get the whole panel here. On Sundays are usually pretty good for everybody, but the rest of the week it's not. So.
Would you do it if it was easier then?
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this. Can't you and Ralph go on and you don't need a panel and maybe just talk about daily stuff that's happening?
Yeah,
just
we
an
could.
Idea.
We've discussed that. I just don't know. I mean, we just haven't gotten there yet. I'm sure there'll come a time when we will be doing that, but
all right.
Just
well, that's a good idea, Rich, and I wouldn't mind. I think we could also do just a partial panel. Like I wouldn't mind doing another hour during the week.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. And I know Kimberly would probably be available because, as she's told me before, she has no life. So. But anyway, let's get out of here for the night. Viewers, right. Thanks a lot for watching. Again, please like, subscribe, and share, and do the same thing for GUFON as well as DarkHour Paranormal. So until next time, keep thinking and question everything.
Ciao.
Okay.
That's my Anjali goodbye.